Hello everyone, Cahlen here, and in this video I'm going to be planting some amaranth seed. So here's some organic amaranth seed which I have purchased, and it's called Chinese giant orange amaranth, and this gets up to 10 feet tall. So I'm going to plant this in the spiral garden, and I'm going to plant it kind of in the center because it's going to be the tallest thing there. And so I think the tallest thing should probably be in the middle, or, you know, if not in the middle, then you'd at least want it on the back side, you know, with the sun that way. You'd want the tallest in the farthest back, but I'm just going to do it. I'm going to do these in the middle just because it seems cooler. And then also because that's only what like 500 seeds, which seems like a lot of seeds, but and that cost me probably like 10 bucks to buy. But you'll see it's very few seeds. But also you can just buy amaranth for eating. This is organic amaranth sold to be used as food. And as I showed, I used some like 3 to 4 year old amaranth seeds before I went on my trip and came back, and a lot of it is sprouting. So amaranth that is used for food can be used also for growing amaranth. So I would say if you're looking to grow some amaranth, you may want to just buy a giant bag of food amaranth, because you're going to get way more seeds for your money, way more. But then, you know, who knows what kind of amaranth this is? I have no idea. It doesn't say what kind it is. It's just eating amaranth. But also I do know that it's going to grow amaranth which is going to be good for eating, right? Because that's going to be the type that they're going to sell. So it's going to have big seeds. So look at this. This is all the seeds that were in the seed packet. You know, crazy. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm just going to sprinkle the amaranth on the ground, kind of just lightly. And I'm going to come back later with some compost, and I'm going to put a thin layer of compost over. So basically you want a thin layer because, you know, this is starts off as a very small plant. Even though it gets very big, it starts off as a tiny little plant, and so you don't want to bury it in the dirt. Okay, now I'm going to put some compost. So here's compost. Jesse brought home, he went to the store and bought a bunch of compost, so I'm just gonna, you know, put a very thin layer of compost. Now I'm going to open up the food bag of amaranth, and I'm going to start spreading that out through the rest of it. So, and I'm going to be much more liberal since there's way more seeds. So that should be more fun. Look at all these. Look at all those seeds. So I'm not too worried about planting them too densely, because I can just come back if a bunch of them are sprouting and, you know, thin them out. Pick out the ones that I think are doing the best job of growing in these conditions, and let those ones be the ones that grow up real big. See, this is much more satisfying. There's so much more seed on the ground. I feel so much more confident that something's actually going to grow here. Gotta go get some more. Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of even it out with my feet and smush it down. So here's a closer look. Looks much more defined or distinct. I don't know how you want to, but yeah, it's got the darker color for the compost, and it's going to get even darker now that I'm about to water it. I don't want to disrupt the dirt by putting a strong stream on top of it. Even this is a little bit strong. Maybe I'll see if I can just flood this area and see what happens. Oops. So you can see the issue with this method is that it creates a river which kind of separates the compost, but I'm interested to see how all the water settles in the whole thing. I mean, like what spots are lower and stuff. So I'm going to let it kind of play this out, and then just maybe brush it back. Check out this spider here. That white thing, that's its egg sac. And it seems to be fleeing from the water. Okay, so I let it run for a while. Think of this as like a microcosm to a river, and you're going to have banks on each side of the river that will be wetter, and then this part will be a little bit drier but still have access to some water, right? So you might have different plants growing in those different places, and especially down here where it really pools up. It's like a little marsh over here, and then it gets about this far, and then it can't make it up the hill, so there's a big indent there. So I'm gonna actually start feeding it from here and see what happens. Okay, it's been going for a little while. As you can see, we have a lake here, and it flows all the way around. Another bit of a lake there, and it's about to this point. I would probably have to keep going for a while to get to that point, so I'm probably gonna just flip it over here. And just as a disclaimer, I'm not a professional gardener. I've never seen anyone do this. And honestly, now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of washing away the compost and the seeds in certain areas. So not sure I would do this again. So I'm not saying that this is how you should do it if you're going to plant amaranth. I just kind of come to this without taking it too seriously. And I'm kind of just having fun with it and just seeing what happens when I do certain things. And so, yeah. If you want actual help to not starve to death, you probably shouldn't follow Cahlen's gardening advice. So that's the garden with the amaranth seed, the compost, and the not so effective watering job. I'll probably go grab some more compost and throw it on these bald spots, because I'm only gonna water it like that maybe that one time just to like really soak things, and from then on I probably will do something much less intrusive. So that's it for this video. Keep you updated on how the amaranth is growing, and as we plant more things. We'll also, once things really start to sprout up, then we're going to be adding some mulch, which is going to come from the place where the chickens live, right? So it's going to have more, it's going to have manure and stuff like that in it, which is going to help with nutrients and fertilizer and all those type of things. So anyways, that's the first thing. Amaranth is going in, and then who knows? Might do lots of different stuff in here. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider sharing it. If you'd like to help me out in a more substantial way, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/gift. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, whether publicly or privately, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/one-on-one. Thanks again for watching.